Happy Monday, August 19th, coming to you alive, coming to you well, coming to you excited, and coming to you absolutely sore. And that is all self-induced. And so I'm just stoked to start another week out with you guys. We're going to talk about quite a few things, but I will promise you this. If you're looking for something that is completely new and different every single Monday, this probably won't be the room for you. What I mean by that is that repetition is the mother of all skill. We're going to talk about things over and over and over again, especially on Mondays, because this is how we set the tone for our week. And if I could do anything, it is to give you clarity and allow you to be able to look at your business in bite-sized chunks and say, what do I need to accomplish this week in order to hit my monthly goals, my quarterly goals, and my yearly goals. And so you'll hear the things come out of my mouth over and over and over again. Why? Because I believe it, I live it, I'm in action myself, and I want nothing but the best for you guys. So we're going to start this week off. I'm excited, happy to be here. I'm going to have somebody bring us out on the field in true keep it moving fashion, and that person is going to be center screen. Ophelia, it's going to be you. I know she loves doing this. And Ophelia, hopefully you had a great workout week. Things are you're on this new this new commitment to your fitness. So I'm stoked to have you here as always. Let's go hit them with some goodness this morning and take us out on the field.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It is post August 17th. I hope you guys had a good weekend. And I'll be very honest with you, I've gotten 2 buyers to sign, and it hasn't been that bad. But you guys, something I heard the other day that was very, very, it hit my core. Said life is super short. Life is so short, and you got to be intentional because you're going to be dead longer than you're going to be alive. And I said, yeah, you're going to be dead longer than you'll be alive. But damn, what you do today is a reflection of basically it's going to be reflected in your future. So do something today that your future self is going to be proud of so you can continue to be intentional. So be intentional. Happy Monday.
Ooh, I love that. Absolutely love that. So you guys, I've been thinking quite a bit, and I always spend time in thought, and I write, and I just want to get the stuff out of my mind. And I've been thinking about a few things lately. Well, for me personally, I've been thinking about the future, what it looks like, what our finances look like, what our investment opportunities look like. I want to look down the road because I'm at an age now where I'm 44. I think that I'll have a lot of energy for a long amount of time, but I don't know. I just don't know, right? The future's uncertain. But I'm thinking about this, and I'm just thinking about my age and the age gap between me and my son. And the reason why I'm thinking about this is because I had a really young mom. My mom had me 3 days before her 18th birthday. And so there wasn't that, there's a distance, obviously 17 years, 18 years. But the point is that I'm 36 years older than my son. And so I'm just thinking about when he gets older, I want to make sure that I have the ability to be present, to do the things, to travel with him, to play sports with him, because there's a lot of my friends that are my same age that already have 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. And so I feel like I'm kind of late to the party. And so I'm thinking about this long term. I'm not just thinking about today and taking them to school and all the things that we do right now, but I'm thinking long term down the road. How can I make sure that I'm set up to have a lifestyle that I want for him, the energy that I'm going to want to have in order to be able to do all the things with my son? And so I'm looking down the road, and I think that we should all be looking down the road, investment opportunities. If you guys don't have some type of insurance policy, life insurance policy, highly recommend that you guys are looking into things like that. And I'm not taking this to the dark side. What I'm saying, somebody put yourself on mute. I'm getting some background noise, and I don't know who it is. Thank you. I think Lisa, can you put yourself on mute? Sorry, and make sure you guys put yourself on mute. These are recorded. But like I was saying, make sure that you have some type of life insurance policy. And what I mean by that is I was talking to my financial advisor, and what the Rockefellers did very well is that they used their own life insurance accounts to use their own bank. So when they needed money, they were able to go into their life insurance accounts and take that money and then repay themselves back at a very, very low interest. And so those are things that I want you guys to focus on. We're all entrepreneurs. We're running our own business, but we don't have 401ks anymore. We don't have a retirement plan. And what's going to happen is that a lot of you are going to ball out and you're going to make a lot of money. And that money is going to come and go. And so, obviously the easiest path and the most thought about path when we're talking about this is making sure that you have an investment portfolio. But as you're building, you want to make sure that you also have a life insurance policy. I actually have two. I have one for myself, and then I have one for my son. I've been paying on this policy for over 6 years now. So should our family need an opportunity to pull cash to purchase a laundromat, to purchase an investment property, to purchase an investment property out of state, we have that luxury to do so. So I want you guys to really start looking at your life and planning your life, 10 years, 20 years down the road. And I don't want you to live in the immediate. It's really easy to get a $30,000 check and then just go shopping. I've done it before. I've cashed a $36,000 cash in hundreds and twenties. And I thought I was just big balling, right? Big balling, going to stores, handing out $100 bills to the kids. Yeah, exactly, Ophelia. Like, I thought it was cool. And in hindsight, when I look back and I'm like, oh, that was foolish. But I think I had to go through some of those foolish moments to truly, truly know what I wanted to do and grow up and so on and so forth. So the reason why this came to mind is obviously my son, when I'm looking at my life and the age gap with me and my son. And then also I sent John Cheplack a message yesterday, and John Cheplack is somebody that I look up to in the coaching space, and it's just as a human being. And him and his wife bought a huge property in Alabama, and they've got horses roaming free, and they bought this beautiful house on sprawling acreage with lakes and just the total dream home. And I text him and I said, congratulations, man. It's just, it's exciting to see. And his reply is like, I'm just working to live. I'm just working to live. And I love that. He's like, I'm trying to work my ass off now so I can have this type of lifestyle and just be able to unwind and relax these days with my family. And so that was really important. So we're going to go to two hands that are up. I'm going to go to JJ really quick. You had a hand up, and then Nicole, I'm going to rapid fire from you both, but let's go, JJ. You had a hand up, but then it went down.
Buy investment property. It's malpractice if you're a realtor and you don't own or are considering buying investment property. How dare you? It's the easiest way to become wealthy. You guys have the inside track. Buy income property.
JJ, what age were you when you bought your first income property?
Well, the first house I ever bought was a flip. So I was 27, and then I got really, really dumb, like you. Even worse, strippers and cocaine was a great time in the early 2000s. And then after that, I realized that most people buy emotional instead of logical. So I started shifting my focus on investors. And so I guess probably 30 was when I got really serious. Yeah, but it doesn't take a lot. You can buy out of state. You can buy slowly in the Bay Area. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is because you're looking at the deal and you're figuring it out beforehand. If the interest rate is high, it's great. You get a lower price. If the interest rate is low, you can buy something and not have to worry about changing the mortgage. So, there's no bad time to buy investment property. But
That's
all
right.
of you guys have a license, buy investment property. It doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like a life insurance salesman not having life insurance. Makes no sense.
That's right. JJ, when you mentioned the strippers, me, Vernon, and David Viner want to know, was that an emotional purchase? I guess I didn't align that. Was that an emotional?
That was strictly an ego purchase, my friend. Ego, 100% ego, nothing else. And lack of morals. Thank God my wife is in my life.
I love it. Point taken. I absolutely get that. Nicole Penland, I know you're driving, so rapid fire. Let's hear from you, and then I'm going to ask you guys a quick question. Let's go, Nicole.
I've actually parked just so that I could give a few pointers in regard to life insurance. The premium gets higher the older you are, and depending on the habits you have. If you're a smoker, your rate will be a lot higher. They test for tobacco and nicotine. They do not test for marijuana. So if I know we have a few cannabis people on the call, don't use backwoods, don't use cigarillos because all of that has tobacco in it. So you're still smoking tobacco. And also, you should definitely get a policy on your children because they're younger and they have to have a whole life with a cash value account. So you can do a lot of your investments through that. It's not affecting their coverage as if something happens to them, as long as you're paying that back, but you'll be able to leverage the cash account on your kid's whole life account a lot more so than yours, because the premium will be a lot less.
Beautiful. Well, I appreciate that contribution. So you guys, let's fast forward, and I want to fast forward just a shorter time frame than years and years down the road. And by the way, I want to encourage everybody. I got a whole right screen that does not have their cameras on. So I want to encourage you, I want to push you, I want to implore you to show up on this Monday morning with your cameras on, be here, be in this moment, and be present. But I want you guys to Google this, or I have the answer, but I want you guys to get the answer. In 100 days from now, what is the date? Someone search that really quick and take yourself off of mute. And in 100 days from today, what is the date? Go ahead, I'll wait. Anybody answer that? Go ahead and take yourself off of mute.
November
27th.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, sorry, what did you say?
December 1st. I wanted to pick a number out of the hat.
But you did your own mental math. I like that. I think the official date, Rakitha, is 100. I mean, November 27th, right? All right. Any Sagittarians on the call? Okay, that's right around my birthday, November 30th. Remember that. I like records and hoodies. I'm a very simple man to shop for, but this isn't about me. This is about you. So on November 27th, what I want you to do is I want you to imagine this. And it's a very simple imagine. We don't have to go far into the stratosphere to be able to for this to land. I've watched this video the other day. I've posted it a couple times. It keeps on coming up, and I have a lot of inspirational stuff filling my feed right now. So what it tells me is that I'm looking at the right stuff, right? If you have a bad association with social media, go look at your search engine on social media on Instagram. Just hit the little spyglass and it will tell you the relationship that you currently have with Instagram. If it's nothing but freaking popping bottles and girls in bikinis, then you might want to change the narrative and start looking at some different shit. I'm just saying. So here's the point. In 100 days from now, if you were to focus on 1, 2, 3, 5 things right now that you did daily for the next 100 days, 100 days, I know it seems crazy. What would you look like? What would you feel like? And what would be different in your life? Oliver, what would you feel like if you read 100 pages, or excuse me, read every single day, let's say for 15 minutes, for 100 days straight on a particular topic of psychology? Let's just take it there. Oliver, how would you feel in 100 days?
I would feel like, I don't want to say a master on the subject, but I would definitely be knowledgeable on that subject.
Yeah, do you feel like no matter what someone was saying or what type of background they were, what kind of personality, you'd probably be better suited then than you are now to handle those types of situations? Just give me a thumbs up. You always got a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, correct.
So compound effects. So let me ask you this. If you went to the gym tomorrow, and say you haven't been to the gym for whatever reason, right? Say you went to the gym tomorrow and you did 1 day of working out. Do you think that you'd really, really see a difference the next day when you look in the mirror? You probably would not. But Vernon, if you spent 100 days in the gym, I'm not saying going crazy every day. Maybe it was walking, maybe it was swimming, maybe it was working on your arms, your upper body, your lower body, whatever it is. Vernon, in 100 days from now, what would you look like? How would you feel?
Oh man, I feel fantastic. And it's ironic that you mentioned that, Coach. Today was day 1 for me of back into the gym. And so I'm looking forward to putting that 100-day streak together. But yeah, stronger physically, mentally, emotionally, right? Working out in the gym even has a spiritual impact on us, on our being. So I am looking forward to developing into a new man after 100 days of habitual intention of having my yellow butt in the gym.
That's right. That's right. And here's the thing. Not only does it do all the things for us physically, mentally, spiritually, but what does it do for our esteem? And I'm not saying go hard every single day. I'm just giving you guys some examples. Let's go over to Ashley. Ashley, say for 100 days, 100 days from now until the 27th of November, we, all of us, read 15 minutes about the conditions of the market, CNN, market conditions, reading our Inman news. In 100 days from now, where would we be and where would our intellect level be? How would we feel?
You would feel like you were empowered to have conversations with your clients, especially as interest rates drop a little bit. Knowing about the market would give you probably a little bit more of an edge and make you feel more confident when having those conversations. As the news are having one type of conversation, you can then go tell your client why it's happening, and it would make you feel really confident having them or knowing those things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you guys have to put this in. So whatever context you want to take this, maybe it's a script that you want to really, really master. Maybe it's the RPA, because let's just do a quick survey and analysis. I love doing shit like this. How many of you on the screen today are masters at the new BRBC or the single property agreement that EXP just launched? How many of you are masters at that document right now? Exactly, right? There's not too many hands going up. A few hands are probably not even. Somebody put themselves up on mute, please. I don't want to police this because I have a rhythm. Thank you. So the point is that we have new documents. We have new things that are happening. At this stage of the game, we're going to talk about the settlement in just a moment, but we will not stay there long. This has been our opportunity. Since May, we've been talking about this. There should be an idea of what to do, what to say, the documents, the flow. You should have already had this communication, or you were waiting until August 19th to say, shit, I gotta fucking understand what all this is, right? People still asking, where's the concession for? Where's the commission section on the MLS? Like so many people, I'm not saying any of you, and my hope is not any of you, so many people are behind. And the thought behind this is that if we go back 100 days ago, when we think about just the settlement, think about everything that has happened, and that the ones that are prepared feel a sense of confidence. And the fuckers that don't want to be about this business and don't want to truly learn this business, let them leave. Because if we get a little less commission in the months coming forward or in the year forward, that's all right, because there's going to be more market share for us to take, because more agents are going to leave the business because they weren't prepared, because they didn't spend 100 days like you guys prepping, preparing, planning, reading, reciting, paraphrasing, highlighting to make sure that they're ready for this game. That is a part of your responsibility. And so I don't want to go too far on that, but my point is very simple. Imagine where you would be in 100 days. You want to learn the piano? You want to learn the keyboard? You want to learn how to play some riffs on the guitar? Imagine if you spent 20 minutes every single day for the next 100 days. I promise you, we could probably jam and do something cool. Probably make some beautiful music. So I just want you guys to put that in context. I see some heads nodding. Anybody have any thoughts or contributions on that part of the subject before we go on? All right, I got a couple. I got one hand up. Let's go. Cynthia Jackson, let's go over to you. Anybody else?
I want to say that I had a conversation last week with a seasoned agent, like 28 years, I want to say, who has had to, adjust. And, I feel blessed because this is all new, but I'm new. So it makes sense that I would start right here, right? Unbelievable. It was, I was educating her on next moves. Like, how do you move through this? She had questions that I could answer. And I feel like we are so prepared. And before I came here, I was looking to her for advice.
She said, unmuted herself. I love that. I love that. But here's the thing. It's the agents that are going to sit there as soon as you call them. They're going to tell you that they've been in this game for 20 years. Well, that's good. And I really respect all of your accomplishments over the years. But what's that have to do with this conversation right now? I don't care how long you've been in this game. Are you ready to do a deal with me? And can we communicate and what's best for our clients? Wonderful. I'm asking you if there's concessions. And a smart listing agent will say, you know what, we're open to looking at all offers. My sellers are reasonable. So make sure to put that in your offer. And we're open for communication and dialogue. Cool. Awesome. Right? I don't give a shit how long you've been in the business. What have you done for me lately? Let's do a deal. Let's get something together. Let's communicate at the highest level for our consumers. Let's go Ashley, then Princess, Janice, then Anthu, and then we'll wrap session on this particular subject. Let's go, Ash. What's on your
I
mind?
was gonna say I had a conversation with my son this morning. He's like, maybe I should work at Apple. Man, I can't work there till I'm 18 though. But he's been watching YouTube videos at Apple. And I said, well, you know what? Just keep watching how to fix a phone, how to solve a problem, work on your customer service skills. Because when you get to 18 and the other guy that's interviewing against you hasn't been doing the work for the last however many years, guess who's gonna get the job? And we looked at the salary and we motivated him, but it just goes into the work you're willing to do on a daily basis. And it fit right into my morning, what I was already talking about.
I love this. I love this. You guys, Apple is one of my top companies of all time. And it's not because of the product. Obviously, I'm an Apple guy, but it's just they have mastered their messaging and they're masters of marketing. And it has always been all about how does this make you feel, less about the technology. And I am rooting for him. Hopefully that one day he is an executive at Apple. Let's go, Princess. Then we'll go Janice, then we'll go Anthony.
It's funny because like we've been saying, it's separation season, and still seeing some things where like I just seen commissions being mentioned in the private remarks, and just knowing that we still got people out here that are just not up to date, and they're definitely going to get separated within the next couple months, just because not being prepared, but showing how important it is to be prepared before getting out there, because if not, you're just going to sink.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so glad that you brought this up. You guys, these settlements, the big settlement, Sitzer and Barnett, that settlement is now obviously gone into place as of the 17th. But here's what's coming next. And I want you guys all to be aware of this. And I'm so glad that this is recorded so somebody will see this in the future. What's going to happen is that there is going to be continued lawsuits. And what's going to happen is that there's going to be secret shoppers out there. And so I want you to be aware of this. I want you to be conscious of this. The conversation about coupling of commission, the offering of compensation, those things cannot be stated anywhere. There is no way for us to put that on websites, personal websites, any of those things. And if you do that, you are going to put yourself at a huge, huge risk of losing your license and potentially paying massive amounts of fines. They are going to have secret shoppers in the market, and they are going to go to open houses, and they are going to test you, and they're going to see if you're walking the line or if they have another opportunity to get into more lawsuits. All these companies that were trying to backdoor this and like, oh, well, we'll do it for this, they're monitoring everything, you guys. So yes, it's the start of a new era for us, but it's going to be a start of tentacles of all kinds of different lawsuits that they're going to be looking for people to fuck up. And this is our opportunity to say, you know what, we're going to do this and we're going to do this the right way. You guys as a championship performing team have the ability right now to be what separates us and to be the example for the people that cannot follow suit and will not walk the line in this business. Peace out, move aside, and let the professionals step up and take over. So, Princess, I'm so glad that that's your thoughts. Let's go to Janice, then we'll go Anthony, and then we'll go to Ilona. Ilona, you'll wrap up on this section. Let's go, Janice, and good to see you.
Good to see you. This is actually just like a really brief point about what you were talking about before. I had heard somewhere that if you do anything for 18 minutes a day, every single day, you'll be better than like a majority of the population. So that goes along with learning about the settlement, reading market updates, working out, whatever you do, 18 minutes a day, you're better than almost everybody else. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. I'm out.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I love it. So, Antu, let's go. Am I saying your name right? I want to make sure I'm saying it right.
It's on too. It's
On
like
to,
you're
okay. On. It's like a U in there. Okay, cool. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I think I can help with that whole Pam thing. No, sorry, that's an old
no worries.
brother's joke.
It's
All right,
easier
let's
than
go
it looks.
on. Let's go on through.
On to. And so you guys know I'm like brand spanking new, and I literally was just still in school when the lawsuits happened. And what I love is that Kenny literally put me into like the meetings immediately. Show me told me to learn about the buyer consultation and agreement. And literally because I've been to the meetings and without even being in the field already, like you guys, I have if I have a buyer today, I have no problem speaking regarding this because of how we run this team, and we're educated and we know how to get this out to our clients. And I've seen some of people I know that are in the business are finally just posting about it, where we have been talking about this for months. So I really love that we're doing that, and so that we're confident when we're out there talking to our buyers. So
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
absolutely. God, I love it. And you listen, if this is all you know, this is the market that you walked into, right? Obviously, they're seasoned veteran agents, but the seasoned veteran agents on the call, like a Chris Barcenas, like he's seen multiple changes. He went through COVID, he went through the crash, he went through interest rates at the high. He saw all of this. So the people that are poised, and I've said this time and time again, are going to win. We're not going to be driven. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No. Hey, listen, it's just another change. We're going to handle this, and we're going to have other changes in the future. So good stuff. I love what Michelle wrote in this chat here. It says, I was looking at homes yesterday, and a lady knocked on the door and wanted to know if she could come in and look. I asked her if she had an agent, and if she signed a buyer agreement. She said no. So I said, sorry, I cannot show you, but there's a couple open houses down the street. I felt like it was a setup. I was scared. Well, hey, way to cover your ass. Way to cover your ass. And if you are looking for representation, I'd love to be able to show you this home. I would just need to DocuSign you over a single property agreement, and we can go ahead and do that right now. Have that ready. Have that in your DocuSign ready to go. So way to cover your ass. Let's go Ilona, and then we'll go Deep Bledsoe.
My question is, you're talking about secret shoppers and stuff and like not being allowed to this and that. Are we not allowed to talk about the commission like over the phone or in other places other than the MLS? Because I've seen people like, you know, put 3% on the keys inside the Supra to tell people these. Is that not allowed?
No, it's not allowed.
Oh.
Yeah. So
what about, are the sellers allowed to discuss
Ilona, really quick.
Say, hey,
Ilona, I'm gonna slow you down. Just cut your camera really quick because the audio is going in and out. We might be, because I don't want to miss this. I think there's something good here. I think I could cut your camera. There we go. Ask the question again.
My question is, if we're not allowed to do the 3% thing anywhere, or we're not allowed to show the percentage anywhere, what is the legality of the seller disclosing this information? Because the NAR settlement has nothing to do with them. And if they want to talk about the fact that they are selling their house and they're paying a buyer,
Ilona, your audio is cutting out, but I think I got this. And hopefully you can chime back in. So if a seller is willing to offer a concession that you'll use in the form of a compensation if you're the buyer's agent, a seller, and nowhere is that to be documented, nowhere to be written. It's not on the MLS. It's not in the confidential remarks. It's not on individual brokerages' website. That is something that is no longer allowed to be put anywhere. Now, the seller can answer a very simple question. Is the seller willing to offer concessions? Yes. That's it. It is the buyer's responsibility to say, hi, we're thinking about writing on 123 Main Street. I did want to ask, is the seller offering a concession? Our seller is reasonable and they will be looking at all offers. So please put it in your offer and we're willing to negotiate. Looking forward to receiving your offer. Thank you for writing on 123 Main Street. That's literally the era that we are walking into. That's literally the era that we're in. So it cannot, so let me see here. Sarah, you put something here. I talked to another agent over the weekend. She mentioned for new listings, there was a box. Actually, I don't want to read this. Take yourself off of mute, Sarah.
Yeah, sorry, it's confusing. But yeah, no, another agent came into the open house and mentioned that when she, I don't know, relisted or listed a new property, there was actually two boxes. One saying that they're either offering commission to a buyer's agent or not. And it doesn't say the amount, but assuming that's what is said on the MLS. Sorry. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen it, but she mentioned that that's a thing, so I'm not sure.
So it should not be on the MLS in any way, shape, or form. The offer of commission, the verbiage cannot any longer be on the MLS. Now, if it is, then that's an MLS challenge. It's not an us challenge. What we need to know is the seller offering a concession. Wonderful. If they're open to it, we're going to put that into our offer. right? Because what we don't want to do is we don't want to put ourselves in a position that we're taking clients to houses that offer a commission. That's not making it about us and not about them, right? Because now that falls in the category of steering. The last thing we want to do is steer someone towards a property because they're offering a 3%. Now, obviously, do your homework and make sure that if you know that they're only shopping for new builds, then yeah, if the new builder, the Lennar Homes, is offering a 3%, so when you sign your agreement, you're going to put 3% on your agreement because you know Lennar is offering a 3%. So we'll save a lot of this conversation for Thursday or next Thursday, but we're here now. It came up, so I appreciate that, Sarah. D. Bledsoe, I don't know what contribution you had or what's part of the conversation. Let's go to you, then we'll go to Blessing. We'll go to JJ and hopefully we can come back to Alona.
Yeah, I originally raised my hand because everything that you were talking about in the beginning sounds like the compound effect book that I'm reading right now. I'm on page 60, and it's yeah. So I just wanted to encourage everybody to read that book when you get a chance because it just reinforces what you're talking about and solidifying habits and good actions. But then also in terms of what Sarah was just talking about, when I entered my listing in last week, I believe in Bay East, it does ask you if you're offering concessions, but it doesn't actually put it on the listing once it goes live. And it doesn't ask you a percentage anymore. Compound Effect, really good book. But yeah, it obviously doesn't say how much anymore, but I think it does ask you if you're offering a concession, but again, it's not to advertise that.
Yeah, and that should be just a simple yes or no, right? Simple yes or no. But here's the thing also. And like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but I know it's important because of the time and it's the Monday after. If a seller, if it says no concessions, then that's when you should say, you know what, we're still going to write an offer. I'm still going to ask for something. Maybe we write a little bit over, maybe we're able to work it out to where they are going to, because the seller will say no all day long and then end up being able to offer. They want to show from the onset that they're strong, they're tough, and then no, we're going to hold to our guns. But when they see that offer, that is a very, very clean offer, and all that you're asking for is a, percentage of, the closing costs that are going to go towards concessions. You guys, a lot of sellers are going to be like, that's the actual offer that we want. As long as they're still going to net the number that they want to net and move on with their life, you guys put in your offer, write strong offer, and be a very, very strong negotiator. Let's go deep. So let's go Blessing, then we'll go over to JJ, and we'll come back to Alona. Hopefully she has audio.
I was just going to add, because I thought that Alona was asking if the seller wanted to say something, and the reality is that, and I'm assuming that was the rest of the question, is that the seller isn't the agent. If they're talking about it amongst themselves to their friends, if they post it, we can't police that. All we can do is just make sure that.
Are you guys hearing that, or is it just me? There's something really, let's try that one more time. There was something really, really loud with your audio. Let's go one more time, Blessing.
Is this better right now?
Not at all. All right, we'll come back to you. I don't know. Just making a weird beep.
Blessing, if there's another computer close by that is on, or are you using one of these?
Yeah, I heard that from your audio, Blessing, but hopefully we can get that figured out. Let's go JJ and then Vernon, and then we're going to move on.
All right, real quick. If you don't understand it, get clarification. EXP has a ton of videos. We've done a ton of videos. The office, not we, but the office has done a ton of videos called Karina. Get a complete understanding. Do not assume anything with this. If you do not understand how it works right now, it's okay, but get an understanding. I went through the 2008 debacle, and a lot of that was the same thing. A ton of lawyers came out and sued us for everything. And what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a ton of lawyers again out there looking to sue people who don't do it properly. So don't take the lockbox information. Don't say, hey, just between you and I. It's not necessary. Just be professional. Follow the rules. You can still make money if you follow the rules. It's, but again, get clarification. I can't stress this enough to you guys. That 2008 whooped my ass because we got involved in lawsuits that we actually only had a tangential connection to, but they became class action. And it knocked me from being plus like $1.5 million to being negative about 900,000. So you guys do not want to get involved. Don't take any chances. Don't be the cool guy with the other agent. Protect yourself. And now it's even worse because technology can do everything. They can record a conversation, they can take a text, anything. So first get clear, and then don't play in the gray area. It's not worth it.
Here's what I would do is I just dropped the link once again to our settlement conversation with the Vice President of Industry Relations of EXP. A lot of you were at that session, but in case you missed it, it's there. If you are on the team, there's 2 places to go. Go to the Oracle channel, or excuse me, 3 places. The Oracle channel, go to Team Fast Exclusive. That's all of our updates, forms, documents that are only exclusive to people that are on the team. And then part 3 of this is make sure you go to Fast Class. Fast Class is going to house all the sessions that Karina and I have done every single Thursday. Also, there's tons and tons of resources there. What I want to see and what I would ask of you guys, and actually this is a request, if you guys are going to do a buyer's consultation in the coming weeks, what we have is we have a library of recorded buyer's consultations. For example, you might have seen Jeff's buyer's consultation. As we are now in this new world, the one thing that we don't have recorded is the conversation about agency agreement and the introduction of compensation. So if you guys are doing a buyer's consultation in the coming weeks, if you guys could do for me, hit that record button, send that recording for me that way I could watch it, and then maybe we could use that as a reference tool for everybody else moving forward, like we've done in the past with Jeff's recording, my recording, and other people in our environment. And so would love to get some of those recordings so we can continue to build up now that we're here and at this crossroad. Vernon, let's hear from you, and then we're going to shift gears on the conversation.
Yeah, Coach, thank you. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the dispensation of having to, we have to have the conversations and the negotiations. Jeff put a comment in the chat, closed mouth doesn't get fed like a closed book doesn't get read. And so I was in the market this weekend, showed about 6 properties to my client. And although they can't document anything, we can have the conversation. And so my conversation with the listing agent has been, and it will continue to be because it seems to be effective, is have you had the conversation with your seller about allocation for buyer representation commission? And that's a yes or a no, included in your offer, so on and so forth, or we're open to negotiate. One listing agent said, whatever you've got stipulated in your BRBC is what we'll go for. My response to that was, really, because in my BRBC, I've got 3% commission allocation. So are you suggesting to include that in my offer? No. So they're still they have to be general, but we don't, as the buyer agent, we don't have to be general. We can be as specific as we need to be to get clarity around the assurance that there's an allocation for us. So be confident when you're in those spaces. Ask the direct questions. It's their responsibility to respond in generality. It's our responsibility to ensure that we are as specific as possible, because if they're requesting that we include it in the offer, which is cool, well, what are we including? Do you include 1%? 2%, 2.5%, 3%? We won't know the answer to that question. And don't shoot short, shoot long, and then let's negotiate from top down. That was my experience this weekend. And I was able to get clear, concise direction in terms of what to include in the offer that I construct for whatever property it is from the listing agent by asking direct, clear, concise questions.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I appreciate your contribution. Let's go, Patrick, and then we will start to move forward on the conversation.
Yeah. Good morning, guys. Just real quick, both on listing side and the buyer's consult. So this Sunday, I just had a listing presentation and the buyer's consult the same day. And what I just like to say is that if you go through the process, your system, showing your value, introducing our team, just showing everything that we can do, by the time that you go into the buyer's agreement part, the commitment part, it's a very easy conversation, because the only thing you should say is, in order for me to allow you to provide this world-class service, I'm just going to need a little commitment from your side. That's really the conversation that we're just having, and it's a lot easier, and I feel like it creates a better relationship. So that's just my piece on that.
Yeah, I love it. On to, I'll get to you in a second, but there's a couple things I'm going to share with you guys. I've done it in the last couple sessions, but I'm going to do it over and over again so you guys don't lose any of these resources. So here is transcriptions of everything that we covered in our NAR settlement agreement conversation. Here's all the conversation. Here's the thought tracks. Here's all of the links that you guys need from that session. So keep this. Here's the best practices script. There's all kinds of great resources here. Another thing that I'm going to provide for you guys, if you don't have it, I'm going to copy this one more time. I'm going to put this down in the chat. This is the NAR Simplify. Here's what I would recommend that you guys do. I would recommend that you go to Kinko, or excuse me, to what is it called? The Office Depot or whatever. And I would make yourself a storyboard, just like you're doing yourself a class project, right? And get yourself a little easel. And what I would do is I'd get one of those threefold ones, and I'd put all of my scripts, I'd put all of the documents, I would highlight those documents. That way I'm looking at that thing every single day. Or make yourself a binder, right? Make yourself a binder. Here's the new changes. Here's the documents for open houses. Here's the non-exclusive. Here's the single property agreement that EXP has. I would make yourself a really, really official binder and have yourself an NAR new rule and policy checklist, and just look at that. And that way you have a very quick reference point. If you're a whiteboard style person, have it on your storyboard. If you're a different type of learner, then have it in a folder, or create yourself a Dropbox that has all of these documents in one place, all of your reference tools, because you guys are getting information from all these different places. It's important that you house those, that you compartmentalize that and organize that. So at any given time, I'm working with the seller. Here's where I need to go. I'm working with the buyer. Here's where I need to go. Here's the dialogue that I might encounter for every single situation. And so we've done all the educating. I feel like we've done our very best as an organization to keep you guys in the know. Now, what you guys need to do is you need to organize all of that information, and you need to master the articulation of that. That's your responsibility. So we're doing our part. I need you guys to really do that as well. So let's do this. I'm going to go to you really quick. Is that a new hand or old hand? Because I want to move on.
New hand, just really quick question on is it always necessary now to negotiate the percentage with the seller, the listing agent?
Always. So get into an agreement with a consumer buyer before you even start to show properties. On that agreement, you have to list some type of compensation. If you get in negotiations and that seller is willing to offer more than what you wrote on that agreement, that difference does not go to you. Now, in some cases, you may be able to get that to go towards your buyer in the form of a credit towards closing costs, whatever that is. But you, as the agent, are only going to get paid what's on that agreement. Now, what I would do personally is I would always shoot high. I would always shoot high, because you're going to do yourself a disservice if you get in negotiations and they say, yeah, we're willing to do 3. Shit, I told my buyer I would do this for 1.5 because they're my cousin, right? So it's like, I want you to shoot high just like you would on a high profile listing agreement. I take 6%, and this is why I take 6%. So you guys, we're going to continue to go over this in the coming weeks. So I'm going to pause on that part of the conversation right now. And I'm going to bring something up because it is Monday. It is Move the Needle Monday. So in true fashion of this session, I want to bring something up really quick, and then I'm going to go here. Now, obviously, there's a lot of thoughts, and there's a lot of direction that we are, directional focus. But here's what I want to hit you guys with. Every single Monday, I want to make sure that everybody is in alignment with what needs to happen this week. Mondays are a new start. It's a new opportunity for you to have clarity and know exactly where your week is heading. First off, we're going to talk about wins because we don't have much time. But what I want to do is I want to go to the board. And remember, in this box lives your numbers. No excuses, no bullshit, and just results. And so what I want to ask you guys, and you guys can sit with these questions if you want to take a picture of this and write it afterwards. What is the one action that you can take this week that will have the most significant impact on moving your business forward? Now, some of you might instantly go to the place of, well, prospecting. Of course, like Patrick needs to set an appointment today in order to move his business forward. But maybe it's not that. And what I mean by that is that maybe the one action that you need to take this week that will have the most significant impact on moving your business forward is understanding how to ask and present agency agreement and compensation. Am I masterful of that right now? Because you're doing the work to hopefully get somebody to say, you know what, I'm down to meet with you for an appointment, Melody. Wonderful. I got my appointment. It's set for Wednesday, but my presentation isn't where it needs to be in order for me to feel confident. What I mean is that when I get on a presentation right now, there is no stutter in my voice. There is no this part. This is just a little something that we have to cover because it's a new rule, it's a new policy. Does that make sense? No, I'm speaking from the chest. My head is up, and this is the new rule, new policy, and this is how I can legally advocate for you and represent on your behalf. Right? There needs to be a level of confidence, and so maybe the one thing that moves your needle this morning or this week is your ability to truly master that part of the presentation. Part 2 of this, and feel free to take a picture of this, you guys. I want you to sit with these questions and I want you to reflect. It's Monday. Which area of your business do you feel needs the most attention right now, and what specific steps will you take to improve it this week? Same thing, it could be the presentation, or maybe you haven't even opened this little thing that is provided for you as this company, from our company. It's called a CRM. Maybe you haven't even opened the CRM. Maybe you don't even know exactly how to use that. Well, if the attention that is needed in your business is organization or a system, right? Operational efficiencies that support the cause, right? The cause is I need to get in front of as many people as possible. Well, if I'm booking appointments, what is the system that allows me to communicate best with the people that I've met with or am going to potentially meet with? So think about these questions. I really want you guys to get clear on that. How can you better align with your daily activities, with your long-term goals to ensure consistent progress? Are the things that you're doing today supporting that 3-month goal that you had, that Q3 goal, that goal by the end of the year? Are the things that you're doing today making sure that they support the big vision of your company? Is it yes, no? And if not, then what do you do to change it? 4th, what challenges or obstacles do you anticipate this week, and how do you plan to overcome them to stay on track with your goals? Maybe you are attending an event. Maybe the kids get off early on Wednesday. Maybe you don't have coverage. Maybe you are going in a very tricky situation and not all of your stuff. I don't know what your challenges are, but I'm here for support. But you have to be very clear to be able to see, okay, I know the potential challenges that I'm going to face this week. What am I going to do about it? How am I going to mitigate it? How am I going to navigate? How am I going to approach that this week? And when I say this, every single week, you guys have the ability to look at the week, take a bite-sized chunk out of it and say, okay, what can I do this week that's going to move my needle just a little bit? And if you move that needle every single Monday, 4 times a month, think about where you are. Think about where you are in the next couple months. And then lastly, how will you measure success at the end of this week? And what does a win look like for you this week? How are you going to measure that success? Is it tracking everything in your follow-up boss? Is it, if you're in intensity, using the new Agently platform? Is it just simply making some tallies on your notes? Is it your whiteboard? Is it calling an accountability person? Is it stacking whatever you stack? Is it adding your little beans to your cup? I don't care what it is. How are you going to measure your success this week when you look back at it? And then what would define a win for you this week? And I want to ask that question to one person, 2 people. I'm going to go to David Viner and I'll go to Melody Cleone. David, how will you measure success at the end of this week? That's part 1 of the question. And what does a win look like for you just this week, David?
For me, it looks like checking off a lot of the tasks on Follow Up Boss that I have assigned for the 30-day challenge. And then success this week is definitely going to look like getting onboarded and like fully started and like working on leads and getting clients onto Follow Up Boss.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Melody, you're obviously at a different chapter than David is. So Melody, just coming back from vacation, how will you measure success at the end of the week? And what does a win look like for you this week?
Yeah, that's a great question. One way that I will definitely be challenged this week, and I want to challenge myself this week, is to be able to articulate the buyer broker agreement, and to be able to have that conversation and that flow, and to be able to perfect that to where I feel confident about it. And not only that, but to be able to understand it and be able to articulate it in a way where I can help other agents articulate it with confidence as well. Because I have 65 agents as my business partners at EXP, I feel like it's a responsibility to me to be able to show up for them at a high level. And the way I'm going to do that is first being able to show up for myself and to understand it myself. And so I've been on vacation this past week, obviously missed out on a lot of training, a lot of information. And so I'm going to do a deep dive into the Slack channels this week. The 3 that you pointed out that I made note of is the Oracle channel, the Fast Class channel, and the Team Fast exclusive channel. And then also I want to go back and I want to rewatch that recording that you did with Kennel Bonner last week, which I think is very, very important. I want to be able to make some notes on that. And I really love what you said about creating that binder, Elias. I don't know if you said create an easel or a binder or folder.
Yeah, it's either or. And those just ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a binder right here that I have at home. This is my script binder. I have my sales mastery. I don't know if you guys can see that in here. And I want to be able to really do a deep dive, make some notes, highlight some information. And, one thing about me that I think is unique is the fact that I have a voice. And I just want to be able to use that voice more efficiently, and also be able to show up on social media and to be able to really show up for my community and pour into the people around me. And so that's something that I don't do a lot of. I think it's just laziness, but I really want to push myself this week to show up and to really be the news and to really articulate this information as best as I can. So those are some challenges that I'm going to be faced with this week, but I think that if I really put my mind to it, I can accomplish it. So I'm excited.
I love it. And you guys, let's give ourselves some grace, and let's also give some grace to our consumers. This is all news to them, right? It's different. It's a different world. And what's going to happen is that they're going to feel a sense of like, now is home ownership even further out of the reach for me as a person, right? And me and my family. And so we have to put ourselves in a really good position to not only understand ourselves, where we're needing to be and how to articulate this, but let's really, really give our consumers some grace, right? We're out there serving them at the highest level. They need you right now. They need to understand that, listen, since the beginning of time, who's the person that always brought the money to the table in a real estate transaction? Was it the sellers? No, the sellers hold the asset. Well, the asset is theirs, right? Now they're putting that asset on the open market, and who brings the money to the table? The buyers always brought the money to the table. So we have to think about that, you guys. The buyer's always been the one that has financed the commission and the sale. It's always been like that. Now it's just worded differently. So I want you to think like, well, the buyers that are in a bad position, they're not in a bad position. Everything is going to come from their ability to bring that money to the table. And a lot of times there's going to be a little room. And obviously we want to protect our buyers and make sure that we're not going into an appraisal shortfall. But if there's a little wiggle room for us to offer a little bit more, that's going to cover the concessions that are going to be paid to us in a form of compensation. There's going to be ways that we'll get very creative. So you guys take a deep breath, make sure that you're doing what's in the best interest for the consumer. And I want to give a huge shout out to Ophelia. Ophelia created a video the other day. And it was this one. It's a simple video, but as you can see, Ophelia, this is one of your best performing videos over the course of the last few videos that you've posted. This video had 1,615 views, and this is all for a consumer, right? And this is somebody saying, hey, if you're a consumer, this is what you need to know right now. Take a look at that video, get an example of that video, say, what do I know now that will help them? Will help them, because consumers are still fearful. They don't know. This is an uncharted territory for them. So keep that front of mind as you chart ahead, and make sure that you guys are doing everything to educate the consumers, because they're looking for information, and what they're looking for is they're looking for clarity. Remember, people unfortunately are sheep, and they're led by the shepherd that is called the media. It is your responsibility to change that narrative. Melody, before we close out, last contribution.
I'm sorry, I just had a question. Is there a way that you can go back to the third slide? I was taking pictures of all of them, but I missed out on the third slide. I'd really like to just reflect back on these and make some notes.
Yeah, let's go here. Let's go. Which one? It's not the third slide. That's 1, 2, 3.
The quotes, the third quote.
1, 2, 3. Here we go.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, and then obviously send out your deal of the week email today. And then lastly, Kenny and I are doing a personal branding workshop this Thursday in Hayward. If you guys have the ability to attend, it's from 11 to 1 o'clock. Want you guys there. Bring a friend. This is open up to the whole entire industry. We're going to do a really, really cool workshop, really talking about the power of personal branding, how to create your personal brand, what the heck is a personal brand. We're going to take you down that path. And I promise you, you guys will leave that session with tons and tons of great information. So you guys, I want to respect everybody's time. Thank you for all of your contributions. And I just want to tell you this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for spending time with me. I cannot tell you what this means to me. This is a labor of love. I appreciate you guys because all I want for you is to be in a better position today than you were yesterday. And that's our continuous ability to grow. And that is the essence of keeping it moving, right? These sessions are about progress, right? That inches us closer towards our dreams, our goals, and our vision, right? This is a train, and this train has tremendous momentum, but it has nothing without you guys. And so I appreciate you spending the time with me. I'll never take this for granted. So you guys go out there, crush it this week. If you have some questions about anything, I'll do my very best to be there for you. Make sure to text me or shoot me a message on Slack. As always, keep it moving toward your dreams, goals, and vision, and have yourself an amazing day. Peace.
Peace.